Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy is among the 12 greatest entrepreneurs of our time, according to a Fortune magazine list. The U.S. publication said, as the visionary founder of Infosys, Murthy has built one of the largest companies in India, helping to transform that economy and put it on the world stage. Born in 1946, he finished his graduation with a degree in electrical engineering from the National Institute of Engineering, University of Mysore. Murthy proved that India could compete with the world by taking on the software development work that had long been the province of the West. As one of 6 co-founders of Infosys and the CEO for 21 years, Murthy helped spark the outsourcing revolution that has brought billions of dollars in wealth into the Indian economy and transformed his country into the world's back office. He has been described as the father of the Indian IT sector by the Time magazine and CNBC for his contribution to outsourcing in India. In 2005, he co-chaired the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Practical experiences in business management building corporate culture have helped him and his colleagues turn Infosys into a legend of the Indian IT industry. As of 2024, his net worth was estimated to be at $4.4 billion. Hello and welcome to Talk Vietnam. One thing you may not know about the man you just saw from the clip is that he is behind the concept called Global Delivery Model, which has become the backbone of the Indian software industry. This model has revolutionized the global IT service industry and turned it into one of the most cost-efficient in the world. Contrary to the tremendous success in his career, Mr. Murthy, in his own words, still drives a small car and washes dishes for his wife. We're extremely honored to have him here with us today, and we will for sure ask him about that fact. And also, we would like to welcome Dr. Trương Gia Bình, founder and chairman of FPT Group, and learn more about the Go Global aspiration of the Vietnamese companies and what they can learn from a successful case like Infosys.
Sure.
But first of all, welcome to Talk Vietnam, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mr. Murthy, I know that your visit has been so much anticipated by the tech community here in Vietnam. So can you tell us a little bit about the purpose of this visit? Why Vietnam? Why now?
Well, you know, when I came here last time, it was about 15 years ago in 2009. At that time, I was the executive chairman of Infosys. The purpose of my visit is to meet my good friend Dr. Bin, to admire the great nation of Vietnam and to pay my respects to the extraordinary people of Vietnam.
So I want to ask Dr. Bình about your friendship with the founder of Infosys, Mr. Murthy.
24 years ago, I went to Bangalore and I have first time chance to see Narayana Murthy, the legends of India IT industries. At that time, I don't have confidence myself how Vietnam should go global for IT software. I asked him, really, Vietnam can develop software for the world? And he said, of course, no questions. And that make me in deep debt to him for my inspiration to go to the global.
Mm-hmm. Why did you say, of course, with such certainty?
Well, you know, I have been an admirer of the great nation of Vietnam ever since my college days. The way you brought together South and North Vietnam together and made it a strong nation is a lesson for people all over the world. The people of Vietnam are known for their high aspiration, hard work, their sacrifice, and their ability to achieve whatever they set out to do. So I told him, don't worry about it. Go ahead, and start serving the global market for IT software, and you will be a great success. And that's exactly what has happened.
Actually, this, of course, so important for me and for FPT, because after this meeting, we fell. We opened the office in India, in Bangalore actually, we fell. We opened office in Silicon Valley, we fell. No single contracts and budget gone. But this, of course, accompanies us in this very tough moment to go global. And I turn home, I say to all my staff, Indian did it, and we will do it. Indian can't, Vietnamese also can't. At the end, we found the customers in Japan, and that start a series of success. And today, FPT reached 70,000 staff, and we have been in 50 countries. And our revenue, total revenues, is 5 billion. First billion from overseas.
It took Infosys 23 years to get the first billion. How long did it take FPT?
24 years.
Okay.
Just around the same time.
In the late 1990s, Vietnam witnessed the emergence of several software outsourcing companies established by Vietnamese intellectuals. Software outsourcing quickly became a new and trendy field. However, after the initial excitement, Vietnamese software businesses quickly realized that software outsourcing at that time was still a far-fetched dream because the global market had been dominated by Indian software companies. The regional financial and monetary crisis and the fluctuations of Vietnam's economy in the period of 1997 to 98 made this company realize that it had to integrate into the global economy. The company identified software outsourcing as the spearhead. In 1998, it made the first attempt to reach the Indian and the US market, but did not succeed. Undaunted, after 3 years of continuous efforts, successful milestones appeared one after another. In 2002, revenue from software exports reached $1 million. In 2006, it was $10 million, 10 times higher. 2014 witnessed the first merger and acquisition deal of a Vietnamese IT company with an European IT company. From 2014 to 2021, the next deal was the acquisition of 90% of shares of an American company in Atlanta. The Japanese market recorded tremendous growth. According to statistics in the year 2000, the IT industry only accounted for about 0.5% of Vietnam's GDP, much lower than industries such as agriculture and trade. However, after more than 2 decades, the IT industry has seen incredible growth. The Ministry of Information and Communications expected the total revenue of the information technology, electronics, and telecommunications industry to reach $175 billion in 2024 and $185 billion in 2025. Revenue from digital technology enterprises is expected to account for 6 to 6.5% of the GDP in the next 3 years. 60% of enterprises doing IT outsourcing services have shifted their focus from low-value processing of individual stages to making entire solutions and products that bring high value. The total revenue from software services exports of Vietnamese enterprises reached more than $2.2 billion. Notably, for the first time, the revenue from exporting software solutions and services of this Vietnamese digital technology enterprise reached more than $1 billion.
How do you execute the dream or the aspiration into actions, into jobs?
Talk is easy, but make things happen is difficult. And you have to innovate the new way. You have to find a way to overcome. And the very first ideas is I buy a lot of things from IBM. I buy millions from IBM. And I challenge IBM. If you buy from one, I buy from you thousands. That means I'm going to buy million more. And please give us the first contracts. And we got that for printing. So important for us to encourage, we can do.
Right.
Yeah, that's first success with IBM. Another one is the language. I talked to many customers in Japan and no one accept me. But one guy from the banks, they said, okay, I like it, but we don't speak English. Okay, we will study Japanese and come back to you. And Japanese language actually opened market for FPT in Japan. And from Japan, we go to other countries.
You were able to say that to Mr. Bình because you've been there, done that. Tell us, the Vietnamese audience, a little bit about the journey of Infosys.
When we set out to found Infosys, our objective was to become the most respected company in India. And later on, we revised it to say we'll be one of the most respected companies in the world, because we realized if you want respect from your stakeholders, then you have to create trust in them. If you create trust with customers, you will get repeat business and your revenues will grow. And most importantly, you have to create respect and trust from the society, because society contributes customers, employees, investors, and everybody.
Infosys was founded in 1981 with an initial capital of $250 US. Murthy invited 6 of his colleagues to join him in that journey, and they focused on developing software for the developed world in general and the US in particular. At that point of time, there was a hardware revolution going on, which was the emergence of super mini computers, which were computers as powerful as the mainframes, but much cheaper. Murthy knew that there was going to be a huge explosion in demand for software in the medium and small corporations in the US, he told his colleagues.
If we can combine the US demand with the Indian talent supply, using a model which I call global delivery model, we would be in a position to provide high quality software on time within budgeted costs and exceeding the quality of the customers.
And that's how Infosys was started. The company went public in India in 1993. It became the first Indian company that went public on NASDAQ in 1999 and reached $1 billion in 2004.
The second billion we reached in just 23 months, as against 23 years that took for us to reach the first billion. And the third billion came in 11 months.
Today, Infosys has a revenue of $18.6 billion and a net income around $33.2 billion and a market capitalization of $71 billion. It was quite a journey.
Pretty early in the life of Infosys, I realized as you keep on constantly improving, at some stage in certain areas, you may become the best either in your country or in the world in that dimension. Then what do? How do you make sure that you have motivation to improve even further? The best motivation for a corporation is to first innovate something, take advantage of that innovation maybe for 6 months or so, and then proactively disseminate that innovation amongst all your competitors by whatever method you want. Then That is the best motivation for your employees to reach the next level of innovation. Whatever we did, we took advantage of it for the first 6 months, and then we proactively disseminated that innovation very widely in the environment. Then other people caught up. Then our employees said, oh, we must work hard now and innovate further, because then we can be at the top. So therefore, when Dr. Bing came to Bangalore, we were very open with him.
I think that approach is even more appropriate today. People don't believe that ownership of information is the key. Actually, how to reason through things is the key to success.
Totally agree with Murthy on that point. When you keep something inside you, not share, you fool. And when you fool, you don't have new ideas. And therefore, you just give away. You make your mind and your soul empty again. When this empty, we have the wish to create something else.
Teachers are very open in sharing whatever knowledge they know with their students. You know why? Because they know that that student will perform better than them, come out with new ideas, invent. In other words, the whole world will be a better place.
How did you change the conception about Indian intellectuals and make a name for the Indian intellectuals or workforce in the tech industry?
Performance leads to recognition. Recognition leads to respect, and respect leads to power. There is only one antidote to all our problems, and that is performance. So we focused on performance right from the beginning, and when we exceeded the expectations of our customers, they would invariably ask, you people have been so wonderful to us, delivered what you promised ahead of time, with better quality than we expected, at a better price than we expected. What is it that we can do? We would say, we want you to become our reference to other prospects. So when you go to a new prospect, we want your permission to say we have worked for your corporation. They said, no issue. I believe we will have to focus on providing the maximum business value to the customer per unit price that you charge. You have to create a differentiated business value to the customer with respect to all your competitors.
But it's not easy to do things a little bit faster, cheaper, and better than yesterday. So I really want you to maybe give us an example of how to improve the performance, as you said.
When we articulated the concept of innovation to about 150 employees of Infosys that existed in 1991 or 92, I don't remember exactly. Well, I was a janitor at Infosys, and next day he came to me and said, sir, I fully didn't understand this thing about innovation. Can you explain? I said, please sit down. Mr. So-and-so, you are in charge of keeping 8 rooms clean and tidy. Tomorrow morning when you go to the first room, ask a question, how can I do what I am doing today faster tomorrow? I said, today you are using 1 piece of cloth to clean the table. Tomorrow, see if you can use both the hands and 2 pieces of cloth so that you reduce the time you take.
It's not easy to do that.
And he understood it. You see,
Yes.
the beauty is I had to speak to him in his own language about something that has value in his own work, not some theory. I said, today you use a certain cleaning liquid, go to the market after your work today and find out if there is a new cleaning liquid which is cheaper than what we are buying today, and see if it can clean as well as the cleaning liquid you are using today, but at a lower cost. I said, then what you are going to do is you will do what you are doing tomorrow cheaper than what you do today. The third thing I said is, today when you clean this wonderful table, look at it very carefully, see if there are any specks of dust. Let's say there are, you see 5 specks of dust. So spend a little bit of time and make sure that tomorrow you have 4 specks of dust at best, day after tomorrow 3. So therefore, innovation is all about doing things faster, cheaper and better.
Is there a difference between invention and innovation?
You asked a very important question. Right? Yes, invention is all about creating a new device, a new service or a new product that did not exist yesterday, but they brought tremendous productivity to human beings. On the other hand, everybody may not find it easy to invent. However, every one of us can think about what we do in our work and see how we can do that faster, cheaper and better tomorrow. Innovation is possible for almost every one of us once you create that mindset, while invention may perhaps require a little bit more training, mindset, new ideas, etc.
Right. I think this is a very important takeaway, because when we think about innovation, we think big words, but actually innovation is applicable for everyone.
During his time in Vietnam, Mr. Murthy met with the Vietnamese IT community at Hòa Lạc High Tech Park. He shared practical business insights, management strategies, and techniques for cultivating corporate culture.
Please give a round of applause for Mr. Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys and the father of India's modern IT boom.
Other than India, Vietnam is the only country in Asia, not Singapore, not Japan, not China, not Malaysia. No other country has created a software services company which has $1 billion of revenue like FPT has. Most people see things as they are and wonder why. I dream of things that never are and then say, why not? Entrepreneurs are primarily dreamers because they have to come out with an idea and they have to work extremely hard. Entrepreneurship is all about converting an idea into jobs.
We think we should create more and more jobs for youth, an interesting job, this technology job that's changed their life.
I have no doubt at all that they will create. Today they may have created 30,000 jobs. They will create 300,000 jobs. They will become probably $12–13 billion. Absolutely doable, because I'm saying from my own experience.
How do you feel about the atmosphere, about the business vibe here?
This is a nation which is full of energy, full of enthusiasm, full of confidence, and consequently, they're very hopeful of doing the plausibly impossible. Therefore, I think that when a nation has this kind of inexhaustible energy, confidence and hope, achieving any target is possible.
Every big company looking for talent from India, from Infosys, but not from Vietnam. The brand of Vietnam is most challenge I overcame for past 24 years.
how to improve the branding of Vietnamese intellectuals is the most challenging task that you are facing. So I want to ask Mr. Murthy, AI, artificial intelligence, is such a current thing. Are you scared of AI?
I am not scared of technology. Let me give you a very simple example. In the 70s, when computers were first introduced in banks, employees of the banking industry went on strike in several countries. But the thinkers there sat down with those employees and they explained to them that these computers will do whatever you do probably in 1/100th of the time that you take. Number two, there are problems that you can't solve as a human being because there are too many variables. This computer will be able to do. And what this will do is it will allow the banks to grow, to become bigger. Therefore, it will create more and more employment. Therefore, you will get better salaries, you will get more power, you will get more respect, etc. And they accepted it. Therefore, the key to harnessing any technology is to study it carefully and then say, how can I use this new technology more as an assistive tool for me to become more productive, for me to solve problems which I could not have solved earlier without this technology. AI too is exactly the same thing, except in a few areas like, for example, autonomous driving, where it reduces the number of accidents per million miles that a vehicle runs, where it will help people to overcome the hazards of working in places like nuclear power plants and furnaces, etc. The smartness of human beings is to use the extraordinary flexibility and imagination of their mind to make any new technology their ally.
AI everywhere, in the product, in the service, and in your mind. And I think Vietnam should be the AI nations in terms of young populations, eager to studies, love mathematics, and ready connect, and will choose Vietnam for AI. Jensen Huang said, they choose Vietnam as second home for NVIDIA. Our matter is how Vietnam want it. At least FPT, we want it so much. We're betting future of FPT on AI. We decide ready to invest to AI enterprise for AI infrastructures ready in Vietnam. And we also decide to invest next, ready now, to Japan. And we're going to discussing to invest in Korea. Yesterday we discussed with NVIDIA about how to create numbers of talent on AI. We cooperate with the largest AI institute in the world, Mila Institute, under the godfather of AI, Yoshua Bengio. We invest to the landing AI of Anh, the #1 for computer visions. And we invest in capital and human resources for that, because I think AI will define where Vietnam will be future among the nations.
According to the Ministry of Information and Communications, it is estimated that revenue from foreign markets contributes about 80% of the total revenue of Vietnamese digital technology enterprises. The export market for software and information technology services grew by about 4 to 8% in 2023, in spite of global uncertainties. Software production revenues are estimated to reach about $4.3 billion in 2023, with export revenues forecast to reach about $4 billion. The Vietnamese government has issued the National Strategy on Research, Development and Application of Artificial Intelligence with the goal that by 2030, Vietnam will become an AI center in the ASEAN region and the world. Vietnam is penning a strategy to develop the semiconductor industry until 2030 with a vision to 2050 and carrying out a project on semiconductor human resources development by 2030 with a vision to 2050.
How to prepare the labor force and retain talents for that direction?
The task of the leader is to translate the power of that new technology into the betterment of life of the professionals. As you know, Adam Smith said, the reason why you get bacon on your breakfast table is not because of the benevolence of the baker. It is because of the self-interest of the person who produces the bacon, right? That's what Adam Smith said, the famous economist, or probably the first economist in the world.
Yes.
So similarly, the task of leaders like Dr. Bin and others who are at the leading edge is to communicate in a win-win manner the value of that new technology. Unless the employees see some value in it for themselves, they will not.
Wow, very practical lesson learned from you. What about the IT services, which has created the success of Infosys and also FPT?
Will go to stage when the coding should be automations. We intensively invest for studies how to automation of coding. Does mean coding go away, not 100%, but go away a lot. And then AI do work. And therefore, we're thinking about the converting our software developers to AI engineers should be helped to migrate the COBOL system to modern system. I think the AI will provide more and more job than the job gone because of AI.
AI will come, AI will go, some BI will come, some CI will come, doesn't matter. But what is very important for the leaders of Software Services Corporation is to enable their professionals to acquire mastery of what I call learnability. Learnability is the ability to learn new things fast, to extract generic inferences out of specific instances and use those generic inferences to solve new problems. Every employee or every professional must be trained to focus on learnability because things are changing constantly. The only constant for us is change. Therefore, if we have to succeed in this environment of constant change, you must learn how to understand this change, how to use that change for becoming stronger. And that's what is learnability. The day you do it, you're not scared of AI, you're not scared of BI, CI, DI, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes is fine.
Right. I think I would remember this for the rest of my life.
You're very kind.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to send to our audience out there?
Your forefathers have fought an extraordinary war, a war that the whole world admired, and they created this extraordinary nation, one nation. They have sacrificed their life and they did all of that with a very noble objective. They want you and your generation to lead a happy, productive, respected, prosperous life. Therefore, please do not let down their dream. Work hard, work smart, and create a Vietnam of which those people up there will say, yeah, our work has become worthwhile. That's all what I would say.
Oh, I think that's beautifully said.
Thank you.
And surely it will inspire many Vietnamese audience out there, especially the young people.
For youngsters, they should understand today, world and Vietnam open huge opportunity for them. What never happened in the past. And to be happy, you just follow your passions. To find your passion, you should be very curious. Try things.
I think one of the problem of the youngsters nowadays is that they don't know what they like. They don't know what their passion is because everything is just so abundant, you know, so they didn't have to strive for anything. So any advice?
Being aware of global progress becomes very important. That's where earning respect of the committees of nations becomes very important. That's where flying the flag of Vietnam in Olympics, in Asian Games, or in ASEAN Games, they all become very important. Because there is no greater joy than earning the respect of people of other nations around us, etc. Because respect is something that is permanent. In order to earn respect, you have to compete with people better than you, who have performed better than you. You have the capability, definitely, you have demonstrated, your forefathers have demonstrated it in the past. Now is your opportunity to work smart, to work hard, be disciplined, and then say, we will keep the flag of Vietnam flying high, because we want Vietnam to become the most respected name in the world. Because this kind of motivation is much more valuable than money, than comfort, than whatever other joy that you can get.
What do you want to see for the future of the Vietnam high-tech industry and the national aspiration of Vietnam to become a developed country by 2045?
5 key technology will define position and happiness of every nation. Green transitions, artificial intelligence, digital transformations, automobile, semiconductors. With the huge youth, talents, and the good education system, and with the great cooperation with advanced nations, India, US, Europe, Japan, China, Southeast Asia, Vietnam should be the nation of Grenadiers.
In the introduction, I said something about you still driving a small car and washes the dishes for your wife. I want you to confirm this fact.
Both my wife and I, we decided to lead as simple and as austere a life as possible. Of course, you know, now that's what we have done. We live in the same house as we built in 1987. It's a small house, it's on a small road, it's on a, we can say, middle class or lower middle class part of the city, and we practice modesty and austerity in our life, and we are quite happy.
Really, the way you live your life is a role model for so many people out there.
Thank you. You're very kind.
I think you asked excellent question to Murthy, and today again I learned a lot from him. That's amazing. Thank you.
If there's one question you really want to ask Mr. Murthy, what is it?
What's the predictions of him about Vietnam in next 15 years?
Whether it's in 15 or 50 years, it doesn't matter. If the poorest child in the remotest village in Vietnam has access to decent nutrition, decent health care, decent education, can live in a sustainable planet, and can have confidence that its own progenies, children and grandchildren, will lead a better quality life than itself, I think that is a good thing, because there is no end to what per capita GDP we should have, how much money I should have, how big a house I should have, how many cars I should have. There is no end to all of that. You can always find somebody having more wealth than you. However, happiness, joy, they all come from a nobility of purpose, serving the society, serving a larger cause than life. So therefore, that's what I would wish, and that applies to everybody in Vietnam.
Thank you so much for all of the insights and the wisdom and knowledge that you shared with us today from both of you. And I hope that our audience out there will learn for themselves and get inspired and start to take action and later on find fulfillment in their life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From $250 borrowed from his wife, after more than 4 decades, Narayana Murthy has turned Infosys from an unknown company into one of the pillar companies of the Indian IT industry and has influence worldwide. It is a case study for Go Global and has inspired companies like FPT to dream big and turn the dream into jobs, contributing to the development of the IT sector in Vietnam. We've learned a lot from the two inspiring business leaders here today, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. We thank you for your time and knowledge sharing, and that's it for Talk Vietnam today. Goodbye for now.
You are an extraordinary set of people. Your determination is second to none. Second to none. No other nation has demonstrated the courage, the aspiration that you have demonstrated. Now is your opportunity to work smart, to work hard, be disciplined, and then say, we will keep the flag of Vietnam flying high.